Hello and welcome. Have you ever been in a situation whereby you have done all you could possibly do, all you are expected to do, all that the professionals have told you to do, all the principles that you were asked to apply to ensure that particular result is achieved, and at the end of the day, you achieved nothing?
What the wicked one.
Have you ever experienced this in your marriage or in your business or in your project? You made all the effort.
Wicked one.
You dotted all the I's and crossed all the T's. You weighed all the pros and the cons. You were so impeccable in following the principles and the instructions of the professionals in the field. Still, you lost all your savings, all your investment, your time, your resources. In fact, you were exhausted.
Take the pressure off yourself.
Yes, this same woman, she spent all she had, all her life savings, but there was no improvement. There was no good result. What was left was her faith. When the money was no more there, when the money for the pills for the best physicians in town or in the city, the specialists, when the money to consult the best physicians, when the money to go to the best specialist hospital in order to get her cure was no more there, there was something that she was left with that worked for her. Mark chapter 5. We begin to read from the verse 25. And a certain woman which had an issue of blood 12 consecutive years, and had suffered many things of many physicians, and she had spent all that she had. She had spent all that she had, and was nothing bettered, but rather grew worse. When she had heard of Jesus, came in the press behind and touched his garment, for she said, if I may touch but his clothes, I shall be whole. At this point, she needed not to spend any money anymore. At this point, she needed not to spend no cent, no dollar, no naira. At this point, all she needed was her faith. She had spent all she had. If Jesus was a conventional doctor at this point, if Jesus was a medical doctor at this point, and he has the solution or the therapy or the cure to her sickness, which is hemorrhage, which is bleeding, issue of blood, at this point, this woman cannot afford the bill. She cannot, because she had already spent all she had. If at this point, this was a hospital that was supposed to carry out the surgical procedure to correct whatever has gone wrong in her system that has led to such bleeding for 12 consecutive years, this woman had no money to afford all the medical treatment. She had already spent all. But there was something that was still intact inside of her when the money was not there. When, humanly speaking, the possibility of her cure wasn't there. She said in her heart, if I may touch the hem of his garment, no longer taking pills, no longer going for the best prescription of very powerful drugs from the famous or very renowned pharmacies in the world. No, if I may but touch the hem of his garment. That's what she said. If I may but touch the hem of his garment, I shall be whole. And straightway, she touched the hem of Jesus' garment, and she was made whole. She touched the hem. She didn't reach out to embrace Jesus or to hug Jesus or to grab Jesus. She touched the hem of his garment. When other people in the crowd were trying to hug Jesus, trying to lay hold on Jesus, she was talking about the hem of his garment that others didn't pay attention to. There is the possibility that there were so many other people who were so sick in that very crowd, but they did not understand this very spot that is capable of bringing them their healing. But because this woman walked by faith, not by what she could see, with her physical eyes. The eyes of her understanding was opened to see the hem of Jesus' garment, and that there's power in that very garment to bring about her healing. And she touched the hem of his garment. And the Bible said in verse 29, and straightway the fountain of her blood was dried up, and she felt in her body that she was healed of that plague. 30. And Jesus, immediately knowing in himself that virtue had gone out of him, turned him about in the press and said, who touched my clothes? And his disciples said unto him, thou seest the multitude thronging thee, and sayest thou, who touched me? And he looked round about to see her that had done this thing, that had demonstrated this very powerful, this very special faith.
I'm sorry.
But the woman, fearing and trembling, knowing what was done in her, came and fell down before him and told him all the truth. And he said unto her, daughter, thy faith,
my daughter,
not thy money, thy faith had made thee whole, not based on your connection or recommendation. Thy faith had made you whole, not based on the best pharmacists in the world, or the best hospitals in the world, or the best surgeons in the world. All of these are good, but when they fail, when the doctor fails, when the therapist fails, when science fails, when physical approach fails, faith never fails. Jesus said to her, thy faith had made thee whole. Go in peace,
has made you well,
and be whole of thy plague. Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 4. The just shall live by his faith. The just. What have you done that at the end of the day you did not achieve your desired intention? Your project, building project, your career you are trying to develop and build. You have spent and spent and spent. You even borrowed money. In fact, some of you went to school on scholarship, and at the end of your studies, you've graduated, no job. Some of you right now may not be doing actually what you studied in school. You have not been able to make a headway. What is it that you are facing right now as the issue of blood that has lasted for about 12 years? This woman, she suffered her plague for 12 consecutive years. She did not tolerate her condition. She was very, very committed and dedicated, and so in perseverance, she kept on looking for best physicians and the best doctors. Some were recommended to her. She tried them out and they failed. Best hospitals. She went to the hospitals. Nothing came out of it. All the drugs that were prescribed, she took them, routine drugs, therapy. She went through all of that. The Bible said her matter, her plague, her issue grew worse rather than getting better. But when she applied her faith, she was made whole. There is still something, there is still an idea that may not have come to your head, to your understanding. There is still the possibility that you are going to achieve your life dream, that you are going to be healed, you are going to get married, you are going to get that very project completed. It is still possible. There is something in you that you may not have discovered. You have to persevere. Do not give up. If this woman had given up after trying out the doctors, Jesus did not appear as a conventional doctor, but as the Son of God, the miracle worker, the healer. But still, she needed to demonstrate her faith. At this point, you may have come to that very point where this woman was, and it is left for you to make a decision to do something that you've not done before. You must do it in faith. She did what she did not do before. Touching the hem of Jesus' garment. That was what she did now. That was what she did, which she didn't do for the past 12 years. And she got her miracle. It is still possible. It is still possible. You don't give up when the miracle is still possible. You have to keep on persevering until your miracle is achieved, until your project is completed, until you are done schooling. You must have graduated from school. You're going to get another job. If you have submitted your resume in different companies and you are not invited to interview, it doesn't mean that you are not employable. You have to keep on persevering. And God will grant you the grace and the favor and your heart desires. In Jesus' mighty name. Amen.
Welcome to God's presence. Worship with us at Voco Sprays International, aka The Appointed Place, number 3 Tom Agbuji / Cherubim Road, 2nd floor, off UST Roundabout, mile 3 Diobu, Port Harcourt, Rivers State. Service days: Saturdays, 8 to 11 a.m. Sundays, 8 to 11 a.m. Last Wednesdays, Communion and Vigil 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. Wednesday Counseling, 11 a.m. Call or WhatsApp for more information. +234 0708 476 7258. You shall not be disappointed at the appointed place.
Pressure and emotional instabilities are battles you must fight by yourself if you must enter your Canaan land, because God doesn't understand pressure or emotions as admissible facts in defense of disobedience to divine instructions. He is not a human being. God doesn't come under pressure or emotional instability. God is not a human being. God doesn't understand pressure. God doesn't understand emotions. The mind is the realm of thought and thinking. It is from thinking we come under pressure. We have emotions. We have emotional balance based on our ability to balance our thoughts. We have emotional instabilities. Our emotions rises up and comes down.
Support the work of God under our care. Proverbs 11 verse 24. It is possible to give freely and become more wealthy, but those who are stingy will lose everything. NLT. The harvest is great but the laborers are few. Luke 10 verse 2. Dollar account. Nnawuihe Maxwell Nnawuihe. Account number 2040545574. 2040545574. Swift code FBNINGLA. FBNINGLA. Bank First Bank PLC. Naira account Maxwell Nnawuihe. Account number 10198666723. 10198666723. Bank Polaris Bank Limited. Given it shall be given to you. Good measure, pressed down, shaken together and running over, shall men give to you. Luke 6 verse 38. God bless you immensely. See you in church. Shalom.
My God never change. Yesterday, today, forevermore.